this is Felicia Hotmess. Okay, so yeah, this is Felicia Hotmess, and all over randomness again. So still learning different devices. This is a really shitty video for my first webcam. So funny thing, screen's directly this way, camera right here, not attached to the computer. So yeah, and it's a webcam, so it legit doesn't focus or stay in focus. So technology, I'm a little behind. Sorry, this is messing with me because I'm just trying to make sure I don't like lose view. So let's see if I can not focus on it. So today, the topic today is I have freaking no clue. I have no clue in life. How many of you, when you were a kid, thought your life was going to be one way? Then, as a teenager, you were thinking your life was going to go completely a different way, or not even like. So, as a kid, if your parents or your family members or a teacher had asked you like what you want to be for as an adult, you had no idea what the world was going to bring you, or anything like that. And like, I honestly cannot remember. Truthfully, I don't remember what I said that I wanted to be as an adult. No clue. But like I've seen friends of family who have kids, and they've asked me like, I want to be a firefighter, I want to be a teacher, like all these different things, and it's really really cool, really admirable things like that. Some are like, I want to be a superhero. And side note on that, I think honestly anybody that is alive today, if you are generous enough to give parts of yourself, as in be humble enough to give back to the community, or be selflessness enough to volunteer your time, be of service, do community work, things like that, be a civil servant, like police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, anything like those type of things. And like it's a genre, it's a whole genre. Those are the first things that come to my brain right now. And you're technically in the superhero category. Heck, mothers and fathers can be classified as superheroes. People who take in foster children, and adopted children, or adopt children from homes that are in need, like basically in dire need of saving, so to speak, are superheroes. So there's so many different aspects of what a superhero can be, from like the ones we see in Marvel and DC and any random comics to the movies and things like that. So yeah, kind of go off my tangent again. If you haven't noticed, I do that on occasion. But so like then you get to the teen years, or like you start noticing the real world, and or maybe sometimes some people don't, unfortunately, because they are hidden in a wonderful bubble, slash umbrella, that their parents don't show them what the real world is capable of, or what is needed to do in the real world. Like things are handed to people left and right, and right now I'm not like going off on that aspect. I'm just saying like sometimes you don't know what you don't know until you hit a point that you need to, because things have been given to you. And in all honesty, with my own life, I cannot say my life was a box of cherries, or my life was perfect growing up. My family is definitely not someone who is on the higher spectrum of like wealth or anything like that, but my family is not on the lower spectrum either. I was kind of nicely somewhere in the middle class, but I lived in a straight bubble thinking that my family came from a higher side, and didn't realize what my parents had gone through, or what they were going through financially to support my family. Especially me, as again, like I mentioned, a type 1 diabetic. The expenses that it took and wore down our pocketbooks, to maintain my health. Then also my entitlement of like, I want. I didn't realize that. And then other things that, because I was not a perfect child, I was really stupid and heinous, and I made a lot of faulty errors that unfortunately that I made some major financial mistakes at a young age that involved my parents' pocketbooks. And so basically, like, because I thought my parents had money that they didn't have. And so, like, I lived in that bubble. Me personally, I lived in that bubble. So when I became an adult, I didn't know all the full harms of, and I say harms as in, like, I didn't know how to properly do my checkbook. I didn't know how to properly, like, expense things. I was in the early years, somewhere in my 20s, when I was given my first credit card, because I was naive and I didn't know about, like, basically the interest rate and, like, how it worked. And I was not a dumb child or a dumb kid or anything. I just didn't know the applications of the world. It's not like I didn't work a job, but I didn't understand, like, maybe I should hold on to my money. So, like, I have a niece and a nephew currently, and I tell them all the time, save your money, save your money. My niece loves the slimy things, the jellies, those squishy things and everything like that, and she's always wanting to get more, and I'm always telling her, I'm like, hey, don't like, have enough. You have enough toys, because as an adult, like, I can see, like, things and stuff like that. This is my perception, and I'm like, save your money, save your money, buy a house young. Like, they buy a house. I joke and I tell her to buy it for me, but in all honesty, I'm truthfully telling her to, like, try to be responsible with her money. And with my nephew too, I try to do that. And like, I think people try telling me the same thing. I just wasn't hearing it, and I wasn't taking it in. And sometimes I feel like with kids, you need to shake them, not in that unhealthy way, like when they're a baby, but just, like, kind of be like, listen, like, again, all my own opinions, my thoughts, my randomness, my hot randomness. So my early years, it wouldn't be up until about a decade ago that I would start actually holding on to jobs longer than 6 months. And there's other reasons besides my health, which I will go into another conversation, another video about at some point. And again, it's not per se, I just don't, it's not in this video, is because that can bring me into a whole nother tangent. But besides my health, there was another issue that caused me not to be responsible with my life, and whatnot. But mainly my health was a big crutch I had for a really, really long time. That basically, like, I didn't have stable health insurance because I wasn't taking. So actually, here's how the circle works: is when you're a diabetic, or someone maybe with lupus, or fibromyalgia, or asthma, or any possible health issue that is a daily reprieve, that if you take your medicine, you can have a daily reprieve until your next dose and everything like that. If you don't have the proper health insurance, how are you supposed to live a normal life? Because for what was happening with me was there was periods and times that I didn't have health insurance, so I was struggling to get my insulin. I thankfully, this is back in the day when diabetes expos were happening, and what was really, really cool is I've also been tied to a location in Boston. It's one of the top diabetic clinics really in the world, in my opinion. That's basically Joslin Diabetes Clinic is where I've been tied to since I moved to Massachusetts 27 years ago, and they're fabulous. Like, and I say they're fabulous because of the fact, especially the pediatric section, throw out to them. If you are struggling and they can help you, they will. So there were periods in time in my early 20s that I didn't have insurance, and I, like, my appointments were far in between when I could go and everything, but like, my trying to maintain my health, there were times I didn't have insulin, and so basically, like, if I called them up, I would tell them, they would get me a bottle of insulin and they would help me out. And at the same time, if I needed, like, test strips or whatever, like One Touch back in the day, they were a company that was around, they would try to supply me. But also, if I did the diabetes expos and I talked to the reps about this, they would try to help me. They saw there was someone who had a need and needed it, and I'm really, really grateful for that. And but like my life was just unmanageable, straight unmanageable. And but I didn't totally understand this whole responsibility things, like of how to pay bills responsibly, how to like maintain a budget, how to like basically like shop properly, because I was always looking for the instant gratification of like I wanted something now. And like I've really looked at my 20s and I'm like, how the hell did I spend that much money on nothing? And that's the amazing thing, is I can catch myself doing that still today, buying stuff that I really like don't really need. I have to like look and ask myself, like, do I need it or do I want it? And if the answer comes down to I want it, I need to understand, is it something that's going to help me mentally, like as in like the fact that like if I go out for the night to go bowling or to the movies or something like that, especially with friends, or to go eat with friends, for example, like, am I going with the mission to actually like stay mentally sane and to get myself out of the house and not be in a depression? And I'm going to have a video on that at some point too. Basically, my hot mess and all my depression, my mental health side, because at this point, like I've mentioned in other videos, therapy has helped me, but also my friends and me talking about my issues in these videos are helping me, letting people know that they're not the only person going through this stuff. So what I'm really, really grateful for today is that it took me 30 years almost to become an adult, like to hit every single one of my bottoms, like learning that maybe I shouldn't like just sign up for every credit card with a 25% interest or APR, which is annual percentage rate, just because they gave me a $500 or $1,000 credit limit, and there was that shopping trip, or that flight or that travel sounded good, and then it would take me 10 years to pay it off if it didn't default, and then it hit my credit report. Like there are things that like I've literally struggled, like I think I'm still paying off debts from years ago, and because I wanted the fun at the moment, and I wasn't looking at what the consequences were going to be. And I know I'm not the only adult or person in their early 20s to have that. I really wish that I had the information I have today and I could go back in time, but I know that that's not feasible. So what I got to do is I just got to keep doing the next right thing with my pocketbook, and like I mentioned before, I go to food pantries because like as a type 1 diabetic, my health is a little important, and eating the right types of food, and unfortunately, but at the same time, keeping my house, or it's actually an apartment, keeping my apartment, or basically trying to keep the heat on or the electric on is important, because without the electric, I can't keep my insulin in the refrigerator. I need a vehicle to get me around to places, and some people are like, no, you don't. Yeah, I literally live on the border of New Hampshire, and there's not public transportation on the other side, and that is where a job of mine is. And without the COVID thing happening, where my health is a little important right now, in all honesty, like I am usually in my house, if not at my parents' house, because of the COVID thing, and that is for you all to judge me and whatnot. But like, I really do believe my health is a little bit more important than possibly, and so do my doctors. So, yeah, some people think it's whatever, and this is probably gonna be the one video that I'm gonna like get a lot of bashing for or whatever if they fully watch it. But I can tell you, like, honestly, I think most people are just giving it 5 minutes into my video. So, but yeah, I am a hot mess. I'm literally a hot mess, and I'm okay with that. Because I am trying to do the best that I can with the hot mess of a life that I have, and each day brings me some new information on how to be a better person. So I'm gonna shut up now. So if you've never done this before, or you've never seen one of my videos before, or never heard me shout this before, there's the like button underneath, I believe still. There's the subscribe button. There is the comment section. So if you want to bash me, or you want to sympathize with me, or you want to be like, what the hell are you doing with your life? Or whatever. Like, at this point, I'm open game. I'm putting my life on video. So I'm totally expecting to get backlash. But I'm also hoping to get some support. like some people like identifying with what I'm going through, and or I'm okay with you sharing and being like to your friends, being like, look, your life is so much better, so get off the couch and let's go do something, let's go have fun. Just be safe doing whatever you're doing. It's literally one day at a time, no matter what. So with that, guys, subscribe, like, share, come comment, do whatever you want. Love you all. Bye.